Now at 10, a bar ordinance proposal could change the bar scene in downtown Madison. Why some bars say it could affect their business. And an assistant coach for the Badgers basketball team is recovering after he was involved in a fatal crash.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
Thanks for watching News 3 Now at 10. I'm Adam Duxter. Amanda is off tonight. Just into our newsroom from Rock County, one person is dead after Rock County sheriff deputies worked to rescue several people submerged in the Yahara River. Deputies say when they arrived, they found several people clinging to logs and yelling for help after their canoes tipped. They say they tried life-saving measures but couldn't revive that one person. The sheriff's office is asking not to canoe or kayak along the Yahara River, Badfish Creek, Turtle Creek, or the Sugar River. They say the water's too high and is creating swift currents. But now let's get a first look at your first alert weather with Dave Caulfield out on the patio. Dave, how are we looking on this holiday weekend?
Well, it was one of the warmest days of the year, Adam, in Madison, with temperatures reaching 80 degrees and plenty of sunshine. This is more what we typically expect for the unofficial start of summer this weekend. I think the weather will remain pleasant into tomorrow. For Memorial Day on Monday, we could be talking about a little bit more active weather on the way. Doppler track showing the active weather to the south today. I don't think it's going to affect any of us across southern Wisconsin, which is good news. Can't rule out a quick shower or two closer to the state line, but really not looking that likely. In Madison, looking at mostly clear skies right now in the WISC-TV Skycam. Temperatures still at 70 in Madison, in the 60s in some other spots to the north and west. Dew points were a little bit high today, especially in the morning, but we are down into the mid-50s right now, so feeling a little bit more comfortable. As we look at the day planner, we are falling through the 60s into the 50s by tomorrow. Coming up, we will talk about the active weather possible on Monday in your first alert forecast.
We'll keep an eye on that. Thank you. But right now we want to get you caught up on the latest out of Toronto, where the Milwaukee Bucks are still going against the Toronto Raptors. Again, Game 6, a must-win. We'll have highlights coming up in about 15 minutes in sports. Changes could soon be coming to downtown Madison bars that could impact bar owners and customers alike. Madison police say the changes, however, would be giving some much-needed relief.
While the bar scene in downtown Madison has brought people together for years, it also creates concerns for law enforcement, namely at closing time.
Well, when we see the massive exodus from the bars, what we have happen is this crush of humanity.
Just ask Madison Police Chief Mike Koval.
We have a lot of people in a very small space or radius, and when those sort of factors come together, it can lead to things like disturbances.
Koval says those disturbances include fights, sexual assaults, and drunk driving. And while these issues aren't new, he says they're getting worse as the city grows.
So we have more people, and we have more bars, and so it's a very conducive environment for people coming together.
That's why local lawmakers in Madison say they're moving forward with a plan that could make it so no one can enter these downtown bars after 1:30 a.m. The Tavern League of Wisconsin and several bar owners don't like this plan or changes to their license, but don't want to go on camera. Chief Koval says the plan would help out his officers.
We're flooding that area with other officers from other districts just to try to keep pace.
And says he thinks bars and bar goers could ultimately go along with this plan.
They can profit off their businesses while at the same time not diminishing the public safety objectives that I'm sure they're in lockstep with us.
Should Madison City Council approve of these plans, the new ordinance would begin July 1st. The Madison sports community is sending well wishes to the family of Badgers assistant basketball coach Howard Moore. Moore was reportedly involved in a tragic car crash in Michigan. Moore is an assistant coach for the Badgers men's basketball team, and around 2 o'clock this morning, he was driving near Ann Arbor, Michigan with his wife, son, and daughter. Michigan State Police say a 23-year-old woman was driving the wrong way and hit Coach Moore's car and another car. Coach Moore's wife and daughter were killed in the crash, as well as both of the other drivers. Coach Moore and his son survived. We're still working to get an update on how they're doing. Coach Moore just finished his 9th season on the Badgers coaching staff and played for the team in the early 90s. Highway 133 has reopened outside of Potosi after a mudslide this afternoon. The road was closed for a few hours today as crews worked to clean it up. In the news around the state tonight, Milwaukee police are searching for 3 suspects believed to be involved in a shooting that left a woman hurt at a bar. Police say a fight broke out near the popular Brady Street area at the garage bar. Witnesses say they heard about 5 gunshots. One of the bullets went through the bar's window and hit a 24-year-old woman. The victim is expected to be okay. Police say 3 suspects got into a car and drove off. A Wisconsin judge is ordering Anheuser-Busch stop suggesting in advertising that Miller Coors beers contain corn syrup. The ads have sparked a fight between the two companies, who have both lost market share due to recently to 2 small breweries. The injunction temporarily stops Anheuser-Busch from using words like corn syrup in ads without giving more context. More local news, the Watertown Police Department is asking the public to help identify shoplifters seen here. Police say the 3 suspects took several items from the Watertown Walmart. Anyone with information is asked to call the Watertown Police Department. The Edgewater Madison is remembering those who died in war with a salute to Memorial Day. The concert featured music from World War I, World War II, Korean War, and Vietnam War eras. The Kissers and Sean Michael Dargan and the Back in the World Band performed. 21-year-old Oregon man who took top honors at a World Archery Championship. James Lutz competed in the Hyundai World Archery Championships in Turkey this morning. He shot a perfect 150-point match, defeating defending World Cup champion and fellow U.S. teammate Chris Schaff by 1 point. The victory qualifies Lutz to compete in the Moscow Archery World Cup final in September. And with warm temperatures and sunny skies, today was a great day for disc golfers. All 4 Madison and Dane County Park golf courses were open for free play, and Dane County normally require a permit to use the course. Daily and annual permits can be purchased on the city and county's website. There's a push in Milwaukee to get a bill at the state capitol passed ahead of some major summer events. Electric scooter companies like Bird Scooters are illegal in Milwaukee, but the bill could legalize them across the state. Many people in Milwaukee want to get the scooters legalized before events like Summerfest and next year's 2020 Democratic National Convention. Representative Cindy Duchow of Delafield says the bill gives municipalities the power to tailor their policies.
What works in Milwaukee may not work in Madison or work in Kenosha. So every municipality is going to make their own contract with whatever electric scooter company or companies that they choose to work with.
Representative Duchow says she's confident the bill will get through the Assembly and is hoping for a speedy process through the Senate. And for a very busy schedule over the next 4 days. He's there to promote the U.S. and at the same time, Prime Minister Abe is trying to impress Mr. Trump. Wei Zhejiang is traveling with the president.
President Trump arrived in Tokyo on Saturday for a historic trip. He will be the first world leader to meet Emperor Naruhito, who was installed last month after his father abdicated the throne due to old age.
I think we right now probably have the best relationship with Japan that we've ever had.
The president started his visit at a dinner with several dozen Japanese and American business leaders. He said their 2 countries are working hard to craft a bilateral trade deal.
Japan has had a substantial edge for many, many years, but that's okay. Maybe that's why you like us so much. But we'll get it a little bit more fair, I think.
Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe plans to treat President Trump to some of his favorite things. The 2 are expected to play golf tomorrow and eat hamburgers. Then they will attend a sumo wrestling championship where the president will present a Trump Cup to the winner. The itinerary illustrates a continued charm offensive on Abe's part to keep Mr. Trump focused on Japanese interests. North Korea recently fired a series of short-range missiles that pose a threat to Japan. Another sign talks to denuclearize Pyongyang are falling short. But it's another nuclear threat the president is currently focused on, Iran. On Friday, the Pentagon announced it is sending an additional 900 troops to the Middle East to beef up defenses. The U.S. already sent B-52 bombers and an aircraft carrier to the region after it says Iran launched recent attacks.
I don't think Iran wants to fight, and I certainly don't think they want to fight with us.
A senior administration official says even though this trip includes many ceremonial events, President Trump and Prime Minister Abe will have, quote, substantive things to announce. The 2 leaders are planning to hold a joint press conference next week. Wei Zhejiang, CBS News, Tokyo.
Well, today felt like a lot like the beginning of summer, but for the long-range forecast, it says we might see more rain than sun. Next on News 3 Now, how water parks are planning for the summer. In a beautiful night in southern Wisconsin, Dave Caulfield will let us know if the sunny skies are going to stick around for the rest of the weekend. Well, although Pi Day has already passed this year, Madisonians got to celebrate it again for a good cause. Runners and walkers at the 20th annual Pi Mile for Math took to the 3.14-mile course in Warner Park this morning to raise money so all students can have access to graphing calculators needed for math classes. Graphing calculators cost about $100 and are required for algebra and upper-level math classes.
I believe everybody should have equal access to calculators and any sort of math utensil, because I believe that everybody has a right to be successful when it comes to math.
And as you might imagine, the finish was complete with several kinds of pie for everyone. Many Madison families are spending the unofficial start of summer outdoors, enjoying the warm, sunny weather. Madison splash pads and beaches are now open for the season. Splash pads extended hours this year, opening at 10 a.m. and closing at 8 p.m. B.B. Clark and Vilas beaches will be staffed all weekend, and the city says it hopes to continue staffing both until the official lifeguard season begins in June.
It feels really nice to be back in the water. I'm pretty much running around and getting cold.
For more information on the beach and city pool openings, visit our website, channel3000.com. And if swimming in lakes is more your thing, the National Weather Service says the water is still pretty chilly in the Great Lakes, including southern Lake Michigan, where it's only about 50 degrees. Temperatures are a little cooler than normal for this point of the season. Health officials say it's dangerous to go in the water at such cool temperatures. The weather is cooperating today as Memorial Weekend marks the opening of the pools and water parks in the area, but the rainy, cooler than average weather we've been experiencing so far this May might stick around through the summer.
No complaints. It's beautiful out. Nice and warm.
After a long winter and spring.
Feels like summer, doesn't it?
Yes.
Guests at Noah's Ark opening day are more than ready to slide into summer.
Just fun. Fun. No explanation needed.
It means cooling off in the water again.
In the water, it's pretty what?
Cold.
You may have to get used to it. Cool and water might just be this summer's theme.
While you can't necessarily be the most accurate predicting that far out, you can generally pick up on patterns.
You might recognize our meteorologist, Chris Reese. He says the Climate Prediction Center is expecting a wetter than average pattern across the country during the summer months, meaning a cooler than average summer as well.
Your temperatures are going to remain cooler because of the cloud cover and the rain, but also when you have a very lush and just fully wet ground, it's actually hard to heat all that up.
Can we go swimming in the cold and rain?
No.
We always want our days to be just like it is today, warm and sunny, but weather is certainly on our minds at all times.
Noah's Ark Assistant General Manager Matt Hale says the water park has more than just water.
For example, this year, opening our 18-hole mini golf course, we have a 4D theater.
Or when the water is coming from the wrong places.
When we have complete washouts or some heavy rain, that tends to really dampen the spirits of people. But cool weather, people are still going to turn out because this is something they look forward to all summer long.
While there will likely be more cooler than average days this summer, that doesn't mean there won't be any hot ones.
Still think that we're just going to see a summer. It just might be a little bit more active than some of the previous summers.
We're hoping to go swimming a lot this summer. Right, Piper?
Yes.
Other water parks in the Dells are open this weekend as well, including Kalahari, the Wilderness, Chula Vista, and Great Wolf Lodge. But we'll get a look at your First Alert weather now from Dave Caulfield, who will give us the latest in his First Alert forecast.
Well, Adam, it has been a cool and wet May once again, that's for sure, in Madison. Remember, last May, we had the second wettest month of May in history for Madison, and we're already in the top 15 this year and this month because of the last 2 days, really when about 3 inches of rain has fallen in Madison. Now over 6 inches of rain, basically double the normal for the month, and we could add a couple more inches of rain to that total over the next week or so because we still have 6 days to go in May, as multiple chances for showers and storms visit us starting on Memorial Day. We're quieter on Doppler track, though, tonight compared to last night when we had some severe weather across southwestern Wisconsin and then rounds of heavy rain into the overnight hours. The storms this time around formed a little bit farther south, and they have been tracking basically straight to the east. Still some severe thunderstorms across portions of Illinois, but I don't think we need to worry about the severe weather this time around. I still can't rule out a quick shower or storm closer to the Wisconsin-Illinois state line overnight, but really doesn't look to be anything significant. However, on Monday for Memorial Day, we have another chance of strong to severe thunderstorms. A slight risk of thunderstorms and severe weather is in the forecast for much of southern Wisconsin. Remember, that's level 2 out of 5. We can still get some pretty strong thunderstorms in that scenario. And we also have an alert day in the forecast for Memorial Day. Thunderstorms with rounds of heavy rain possible. Also some high winds and hail at times. Even an isolated tornado or two not out of the question. So we're watching the forecast on Monday very closely. Make sure that if you have outdoor plans, which many of us do, have multiple ways of getting warnings, and also stay tuned to our coverage here on Channel 3 and channel3000.com. So, live look in Madison, the Edgewater Skycam. It was a busy day at the Memorial Union with temperatures near 80 degrees. In fact, we did hit 80 in Madison for the second time in 2019. The first time in May, about 10 degrees above normal for this time of year. Lots of folks out barbecuing this weekend, also getting on the bikes, out for walks. It was a beautiful day, a little bit on the humid side, but still, this is typically what we think of when we talk about the unofficial start of summer. High of 82 in Janesville. The warm spots were Boscobel and Lone Rock at 83 degrees. Right now, those temperatures down into the 60s and lower 70s. Dew points are better. Still a little bit on the humid side in spots, but it does feel better compared to what we started off with this morning. So on future track, I can't rule out a quick shower or storm close to the state line overnight. Again, not looking like a major deal at all. We'll have some clouds around to start tomorrow morning, but I do think that sun gets here pretty quickly on Sunday. Temps in the mid-70s, so about normal for this time of year. Then our latest run of Future Track has some showers and storms moving in on Monday for Memorial Day. We could have multiple rounds of heavy rain and possibly some severe weather setting up on Monday as well. So we'll watch that very closely. Our latest model run as far as precipitation totals go has really kind of tamped down the totals, which is good news because we don't need any more rain. But there is the potential for another 1 to 2 inches of rain by the time we get to later on Tuesday and Wednesday, because we do have additional thunderstorm chances for those days as well. The weather does look a little bit quieter by Thursday and Friday, and those temperatures are staying relatively mild for this time of year.
Well, a tough week for our neighbors across the Midwest, and we're not exempt from that.
Right. We had some severe weather and tornado warnings last night. Hopefully we don't get any more as we head into the week ahead.
Well, here's the clear skies for the days to come. Well, we will transition now from weather to sports, and still ahead in sports, it's win or go home for the Bucks. Highlights from Game 6 after the break.
Well, the Bucks were really hoping that history would repeat itself from 2001 tonight. They were down 3-2 in the Eastern Conference Final that year to the Hornets, and going into Game 6, ended up winning that game in Charlotte and Game 7 as well. Well, they got off to a good start at least tonight. Chris Middleton hot from 3, using a screen to get some space, drops one of his 4 threes on the night. Later, Eric Bledsoe with the ball, tough bounce pass to Giannis, Greek Freak dunking over Pascal Siakam. Giannis led the Bucks with 21, but Siakam answers on the crossover, drives for the layup. That's a bucket. And then later, Brook Lopez in some trouble, out to Malcolm Brogdon for 3. He had 14 points in the game, but man, Kawhi Leonard was really tough tonight again. Fakes the drive, steps back, sticks the jumper, and then, you know, I don't even know why they let Drake in the building anymore, but I suppose this is the last time we have to see him in this series at least, because the Bucks lose Game 6 to the Raptors. The toughest stretch of their season coming to an end tonight. 100-94 the final. Now the Raptors are heading to the NBA Finals for the first time in history. They'll face the Warriors. Bucks finished the season with a 60-22 record. On a more serious note now, Badger men's basketball assistant coach Howard Moore and his family were in a car crash near Ann Arbor, Michigan this morning. His wife Jennifer and daughter were killed in the crash. Now Coach Moore was in critical condition and his son had minor injuries. It happened around 2 o'clock this morning when a 23-year-old woman was driving the wrong way on Highway M14 and hit Coach Moore's car head on. That 23-year-old was killed immediately. Another car was also involved, but that driver was not seriously injured. This is all according to Michigan police. Now, Moore played at Madison and was an assistant under Bo Ryan from 2005 to 2009 and also a head coach at Illinois Chicago. That was before he came back as an assistant under Greg Gard. Now, countless well-wishers, including Tony Granato, Kelly Sheffield, and tons of basketball players from all over the country tweeting their prayers tonight. We'll, of course, keep you updated on this story. Meanwhile, Travis Shaw making slow but steady progress in AAA. He was 1 for 13 with no RBIs, struck out 5 times in his first 3 games of rehab so far. Now, Craig Counsell said Shaw will take today off, then we'll get back to playing, and that's basically what Counsell just wants him to do. Keep on playing. Meanwhile, the rest of the team, Jhoulys Chacin not having his best start, giving up 3 runs to start, and then in the 5th, Cesar Hernandez with an RBI single and make it 4-0. Mike Moustakas trying to help out the cause here in the 7th with a solo shot to center field. That's his 13th home run of the season. Brewers down 4-1. Hernan Perez with a sacrifice fly in the 8th inning to score Eric Thames. But the Brewers lose to the Phillies tonight 7-2. A bit of an early day game for the Cubs hosting the Reds at Wrigley Field. We pick it up in the bottom of the 8th. Tie game, David Bodie way out there. RBI double scoring Albert Almora Jr. 7-6, the Cubs take the lead. Last chance in the 9th for the Reds. Yasiel Puig at the plate, pops out to right. Cubs win 8-6. Finally tonight on Wednesday night, Cubs first baseman Anthony Rizzo hit a home run so far and so back that he hit the letter D of the Budweiser sign, shattering some of the lights. Now, the company sent the Cubs a fake bill for $10,473. I guess that's what it costs to fix the light, which the Cubs, though, they gave it to Rizzo. But in actuality, Anheuser-Busch, they wrote Rizzo a check for his foundation, which supports families of pediatric cancer. And back to the Bucks. I know there are a lot of sad Bucks fans in Wisconsin tonight. But I think you can think about, you're climbing the mountain still. You know what I mean? They had a great season. It's okay. You look so sad.
I'm gonna cry.
It's okay. We were just totally hanging on to every last second there. But really, they just kind of let up on defense towards the very end, you know, and that was really important. Mike Budenholzer talked about that a lot too. So. Well, there's always next year, folks. Right. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We will see you tomorrow.
Well, Dave, can we get a final look at our weather?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's get temperatures in the 70s right now. We are going to be dropping into the 60s as we get into the overnight hours. And again, I can't rule out a quick shower or storm close to the state line, but really not looking all that likely. Tomorrow, another nice day with highs in the mid-70s. Plenty of sunshine by the afternoon, but storms and showers return on Monday. Could be some severe weather and also some heavy rain for Memorial Day.
Well, Dave, I hope the rain will mask my tears from the Bucks. And now we are officially done, folks. We'll see you tomorrow.